GDFL Match of the Day, brought to you by Buckley's Gaming Centre, Fellmongers Road Breakwater. Here again is Jason Doherty and Ron Brain.
Umpire Bob Beattie has held the ball aloft for the start of the final term here at Godfrey Street. Cutthroat first semi-final, and Thompson 40 points in front with the final 30 minutes to go. And it's out of the centre. Slade Hennessy goes towards Luke Luddick at half forward on the outer side, goes long with his left boot. That's the only way home now. Filchins is at full forward. Coming across there is Ambrose Kelly. Spicer up the ground. Good start for the Werribee Central side. Brad Spicer has kicked the first goal of the final quarter, and Ron Brain expects his side, the Centrals, to get up and win by 2 points, and that's a good start, Ronnie.
It's 1 of 7, and it's taken 22 seconds, so on that basis, they will kick about 15, 16 goals. You idiot.
Good work. But, well, that's the way to start for Centrals. 6-7-43. They trailed Thompson 11-11-77. And we don't have to go back too far to think about last week's game when Bell Post were 5 goals up at half-time and lost the game to Werribee Centrals, so they can certainly come from behind. Back to the centre. Bernardo in the ruck with Vilchins at full forward. Smith gets a tap away. Richardson, handball to Nankervis, puts him under pressure. Edgar coming at him, and Nankervis again does well. Atchison gets away. Left foot kick wide. Hennessy and Lamb. Hennessy in the box seat. Takes a good chest mark. And Slade Hennessy, who's come into it in the second half.
Yes, played very well in the third quarter for mine. One of the better players for the Centurions. A long bomb centre half foot. Oh, in front. Good grab, Terry Nankervis, a stalwart for the Thompson Tigers, and has not let them down this afternoon.
Puts it up high into the centre. In front, Day, who's just on the ground. McFarlane. And Timmy Gardner breaks the tackle again, gives it a withers. He's got Andrew Gardner wide. He goes in that direction, and he works very well. He worked Galauka back. He handballs to Mickey again, who turns around to his left boot, goes long towards Cowan. Plugger in the box seat. Plugger takes the mark inside 50. He's got Menzies on the lead. He can give it to him, but he likes to go back and have a kick for goal. He'll be kicking from just inside 50.
I think you'll struggle from here for distance, I think, once it gets up in the air.
Cowan now, who has kicked 2 goals this afternoon, goes now and has put it right to the teeth of goal. Is it going to be through? No, it isn't. Edgar at the front of the pack now can relieve the pressure for the Centrals. Over the top to Barry Delaney. He's got Morley inside. He gives it to him now. Richardson coming at him, but he draws the player well to Cecino. Got a bit of time now to set something up. He goes very long. Grapsis and Kelly. Kelly goes up. Grapsis got one around the shoulder. No free kick. Spicer can tap it on. He tries to. So does Harton. Vilchin's coming at it now. The big man Harton roves. Goes for goal. Oh, hit the post.
That would have been handy. It would have made me feel real good.
Destroyed. 2 minutes 30 gone in this final term, and it's 6-8-44 to 11-11-77, 33 points of difference. The kick in by Kelly goes wide to Chris Gardner. He takes the mark just inside the boundary line, measures the pass towards Nankervis again. He can't take the mark. Over the back was Hanson. Hennessy roves. Handball to nobody. Richardson now off 1 step, goes again, measures the pass towards half forward. Nobody there though for Thompson. Dennis Cunningham slips over. Morley there coming through Menzies. A little toe poke, then another toe poke off the ground towards Paul Day. And also McFarlane Day on hands and knees. McFarlane keeps his feet and handballs over the top towards Cowan. Handball towards Menzies. And also Mickey Gann, who runs in, can be the quick reply. And he does so. Mick Gann puts it through. And his first goal. Good play from the big men there, McFarlane and Cowan. And the status quo at three-quarter time. Back to 39 points of difference. 6-8-44. Thompson 12-11-83 on the Great Western Hotel final quarter scoreboard.
The winning play there was the fact that McFarlane was able to keep his feet. Day went to ground, and once the ball was out of Day's reach, McFarlane obviously picked it up and he ran away so easy.
Yes, certainly good call, Stewie. Twanger Scott. And it's been a very interesting and entertaining and very knowledgeable afternoon here with Twang up here, keeping us posted with all these interesting movements out there on the ground, as the umpire's movement on that occasion was an absolute shocker. The bounce, not a good one from Bobby Beattie. But now, Thompson into attack, and the Centurions didn't really need that goal into the breeze, as we see them now break away. Good work, Cecino to Edgar. His kick out wide to half forward, finds Harton. Yes, a little chip over the top. Oh, Vilson's on hands and knees. He took a great mark. Butters up the big fella, but the kick was well smothered. And I think that was the orator out there then in Shane Grapsis doing well in defence for the Thompson side, and will have a boundary throw in. Thank you very much, Bruce Carter Thompson, suggesting that if Thompson kicked 6 in the third quarter, they would win, and I think he might be right.
Oh, it jumps off the Werribee bandwagon already. Have you, Brian? Good to see. Free kick found. It's going to go to the Tigers. It's going to go to Terry Nankervis. And in between the back pocket and half back, Nankervis now elects to continue on the outer side. Sun out there. Oh, standing his ground, Lamb. And took the mark. And plays on, called to play on now. Gets around handball. It's okay to Ambrose Kelly. Little kick by him towards Menzies. Can't take the mark. Adrian Hart. Handball over the top back towards Harton and Lamb. Harton can't keep it in. And it's going to be a throw in.
Matheson leaves the ground and Timmy Ellis back on. I don't know. I think if Werribee to win this game, we probably would have thought we'd need Matheson in the side. And like he did last week, is to put it through the sticks. I can't see Timmy making up 6 or 7 goals, although he might get plenty of the ball, but they do need somebody to finish.
Okay, now the ball has been kicked up to centre half forward. McFarlane's there. Day under pressure, taps it back. Galauka. Oh,
throw.
Well,
it was there.
That was good footy. Tapped it forward. That's it. Tap it forward.
McFarlane goes wide towards Cowan and Gardner. Gardner now shepherded by Cowan. Little Lunchy. And he flips over his own feet, then taps it to Cowan. Plugger can't pick it up and he can give it back, but he tries to get away. Handball towards the boundary line. And
Justin Morley might be a little bit lucky to still have it on his shoulders.
Mate, Cowan turned around very quickly, didn't he?
Big plugger let fly with a ripper, but he's wasted a lot of energy because it didn't connect.
Gardner and Cicino in the ruck. Goes to Edgar now to Justin Morley, who's still got his head on his shoulders. Handball over the top to Rick Hansen. Oh, he saw McFarlane come at him. Matheson now is back on the ground quickly with Harton off. Goes towards Atchison and Alice. Atchison up. Alice stands his ground. He looks like the Elephant Man now. He's got tape all over his head. He's got a new number on as well. Draws a player, then gives it to Buchanan. Turns on his left boot. Now back into his right. Oh, kick smothered by Atchison. Falls towards Cicino. He drops the ball. Atchison now, and the pack develops at centre half forward for the Centrals.
Yeah, good play, Thompson. Good pressure. Looked like Werribee going to probably get an easy opportunity to score there, but they kept on persisting. Maybe Werribee might have picked the wrong option there, and the long kick at the first place might have been the right option, but it's also easy to look back in hindsight now.
Vilchins and Smith at centre half forward for Thompson. It's a good bounce down. Vilchins gets the thump away. Atchison can't take it with him. Buchanan. Still in close quarters, Nankervis. Handball out towards Kelly. He's got Grapsis on the other side, but he elects to go back in, and that's danger. Buchanan's there quickly by Alice, and, well, that's what they needed, a goal, and Timmy Alice has got it.
Doesn't muck around, Tim, does he? No fuss.
No, and that's his second goal.
Tantalising Tim, is that right?
Tantalising Timmy. Tommy Sveljak will not be happy with you. You usually use tantalising for him. And it's 7-8-50, Werribee Centrals. Thompson at 12, 11-83, 33 points of difference on the Great Western Hotel final quarter scoreboard. We've been going nearly 8 minutes in this final term. And don't forget, Stewie, Ron and I will be giving the 3, 2 and 1 for the guest video player of the day after the final siren. And as we were speaking off air at three-quarter time, it's going to be pretty hard this afternoon to pick the best player on the ground because a few players have been fading in and out. Still in the centre now. Cunningham, who's one of them, who had a very good first half over the top of the footy. And now Hansen just gives it quickly to Bernardo. Now kicks up towards half forward. Burke gives it to Nankervis, who's been pretty good. Left foot kick by him wide towards Menzies and stretches out and takes the mark on the wing. Dale Menzies now, kicks it in board. Going to put Richardson under the hammer from Alice, but he's good enough to get it now. He's got Harris out wide. His sweeping handball's good. Harris got Gardner and Galauka. Galauka, drops the chest mark. He's got support though, Justin Morley, and Gardner comes at him. Good play. He's right on his hammer, but Morley, it's time to get away and messes the pass to Ellis. Goes up one hand again. Harris comes at him. Back to the boundary line. That's all you need. And it's going to be a boundary throw-in front of the commentary box here at Godfrey Street. And Justin coming across to do the ruck work against Bernardo. Very high throw-in. Bernardo, good thump away. Timmy Gardner's going to win the race. Coming at him, Buchanan. He gets away from him, does he? No, he's wrapped up, but he gets rid of the footy. Now he's over the top again.
He's got a game.
And umpire grabs us to ball it up at half forward. And Buchanan on. See you later. Well, they've been consistent, haven't they?
They have been with that. It must be pretty tempting at this stage of the game. I think that Thompson got the game in the keeping. It must be very tempting now for Richo to get Timmy Gardner off the ground. They're probably not going to get a hell of a lot of value out of him on the ground now.
No. But the problem is, have they got anybody on the bench?
Well, that could be the other problem too, yeah. Well, I mean, but Timmy being such an important player in their campaign to win the premiership this year, even if you've got to have someone stand down the forward pocket that can't move, I still think it's a benefit rather than Timmy's injury getting any worse.
And I think Buchanan went to the book too. I think umpire Grapsis put the name of David Buchanan in his little book. And
Grappa's got nothing to do Monday night.
Obviously not. And pushed out now towards Withers, who runs at it and can't keep it in. It's going to be another boundary thrown in front of the commentary box. And Justin and Bernardo working down. It's 12-11-83 Thompson, Werribee Central 7-8-50, 33 points of difference. We've been going 10 minutes in the final term. The winner to go into the preliminary final next Saturday. Withers, a quick kick by him, only as far as Cestino. Got a bit of time, shepherded by Delaney. Edgar over his shoulder, only as far as Timmy Gardner. Oh, got it on a string, the Whitley medalist. And plays on quickly. He's always going, isn't he? And goes short towards Mickey Gann. Gann now. He's got Menzies leading for him. He's going to go in that direction. And then Curvis is up there as well, and Luddick. They're all good marks. Gardner through the middle of the pack, gets it out towards Menzies. He runs straight back into trouble, wrapped up, holding the ball. Umpire grabs the stairs.
He's had a bad day.
And he has had a dirty day, Dale Menzies.
But that's good from Thompson's point of view, that Dale hasn't had a great day, yet they're still being able to probably control the play for most of the day.
And Adrian Hart to take the free kick, goes to the other side.
Yeah, lovely kick too, up there over the top. Atchison thumps the ball away. Oh, the loose ball now. Wouldn't sit for Cunningham, but he swoops back on it. Bit of strength. Hand passes out.
Throw.
A throw?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Didn't see it, Ronnie? Neither did I.
Well, he punched the ball. I saw him punch.
I just saw the umpire call for a throw.
Right. I thought he was actually going to call a trip.
Maybe needs a punch.
That's it. Have another one of them, Ron. McFarlane on 50. And it goes long. Menzies at the front of the pack roving with Hennessy, but they can't keep it in. It's going to be a boundary throw in about 15 metres out.
When you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're not, aren't you?
Yeah, well, 33 points of difference. The Tigers in the box seat to go through to the preliminary final. They play the loser of tomorrow's second semi, Eastern Suburbs and Bannockburn. Gardner gets the tap out there. It's going to be close to the boundary line again. And it's out of bounds on the full, in fact. It came off Buck's leg there. And Mark Cowan will have a kick for goal, and he's on the right side for a left footer.
Just stayed and fall in place now for Thompson. I mean, that's a lucky break. Obviously, you make your own luck, but no, I think they'd be quite happy with that there. Just important thing I think for Thompson. I mean, looking towards next week's game, we're not over this one yet, but players like McFarlane, Cowan hasn't had to contribute too much. Richo's sort of been in and out. They haven't had to rely on Timmy Gardner. They haven't had to rely on their normal 4 or 5 playmakers to win the contest for them. So it obviously augurs well if they can all put it together in the coming weeks. They're obviously going to be a push for the premiership.
Cowan missed that shot across the front of the goal for one behind, so they go to 12-12-84 Thompson. Werribee Central 7-8-50 on the Great Western Hotel final quarter scoreboard. We're going 12 and a half minutes, and Andrew Atchison just went down there to congratulate Terry Nan Curvis on some good work, and he didn't look too healthy either, Ron.
No, he's copped a couple of the old rubber man today.
Yes, he certainly has. Now to kick in, Buck from full back. Goes long down the middle of the ground, which is the only way home now for Werribee. Punched away from Matheson by McFarlane. Falls to Timmy Gardner again. High tackle, advantage paid. Timmy runs on, measures the pass towards his brother Lunchy, and Andrew takes the mark. Well, too high the call. And Andrew Gardner will shoot from about 45 metres out.
Andrew Atchison just getting Richo away from... He wanted to go on a little bit with Matheson, but it was good for Richo to walk away from it. He knows he's got a game next week, and Matheson hasn't.
Well, it was a poor kick from Gardner, and it's ended up with Matheson on the wing, an exchange of handballs, and then a kick. Chrissy Gardner has had a very good game and a very good second half. And Timmy Ellis, the elephant man with all the tape on, wanted to go on with it, but Chrissy Gardner just gave the handball off to Atchison, who runs across then half-back, takes a bounce, then goes wide to Mark Harris. Has to make up the ground. Right next to him, Luddick. Harris tucked his head, did he? No, he didn't. He got a high tackle. And Mark Harris will take the free kick. And Luddick either didn't hear the whistle or still just wants to go on with it.
No, I think in all fairness to Luke, I don't think he did hear the whistle. I think
it was pretty hard.
Quite vocally, he committed himself to the ball. I mean, the head-eye tackle was there, but his second and third efforts were committed to the ball.
Just to go at the ball,
I think the umpires realised that.
Yeah. Goes towards Timmy Gardner in the middle of the pack. Can't take the mark. Galauka straight through again as always. On the bottom of the pack, Lunchy Gardner, and also in there, Morley. Luddick and Withers. Free kick found for a push. Umpire B found it to Morley. And the Thompson runner's gone straight into Shane Withers and said, get out of anything. They don't need that this time of the day. And Bernardo wants to go on with it with the Thompson runner, but Cestino's gone on. And the Goes up towards Chrissy Gardner again, who can't take the mark. Grabs us at the bottom of the pack. Little kick out towards Day and Edgar. Day now. Got a bit of time. Handball over the top to Brad Spicer. Draws a play. Gives it to Timmy Ellis. Oh, Kelly comes at him then. Dropped the ball. Oh, an umpire beat. He's put the whistle away.
Yes.
Was that holding the ball?
The easiest way to make a decision is don't make it. You can't be wrong if you don't make it. There was definitely a decision to be made there, and unfortunately it wasn't made. And Jason is absolutely disgusted. If you keep shaking your head, it's going to fall off.
Christian Smith did well in that contest there and nullified the efforts of the big...
They take away from the game, though. That's the problem. They take away from the game.
Brendan Wilson said, don't panic, Chase. The ball's in the forward pocket now. And,
very frustrating from Phil's point of view.
Oh, Atchison does well. Got it to Richardson. That was good footy.
Well, that's
just
free.
Straight to the boundary line. And that's...
Now, that's a free for straight.
No, off the side of his boot, Jason. I think there's a lead through the centre of the ground. Gone off the side.
Spoken like a true coach and player there.
There's a lot of pressure on the playing coaches, and you've got to make decisions quickly. He made the right one.
Ball's at half forward. Good work there, Kieran Ann Curvis to Timmy Gardner. Burke has been busy at half back. Oh, finger tipper there from Justin. Justin, and the echo now plays on. At centre half back, looks to the centre of the ground. Will Cunningham's there and got a finger to it. Keeps it in front of him. Well done to Delaney. Delaney's kick, though, a shocker, really. And Chris Gardner now has an opportunity if he can pick it up. He does so. Has a look around. Not much forthcoming up the ground. And then he spots his teammate there, Ambrose Kelly, and chips over to him at centre half back.
Runs away now, takes a bounce. Day running after him. He's not going to be able to catch him. He goes very wide. Good vision, though. Had Menzies out there, and he's got Lamb up ahead, but he gives it back in towards the Echo. He has to kick quickly now. He does so, but only Cunningham there. Can't take the mark. He's still got time, though. Breaks away from the tackle, then breaks away, then doesn't break away a third time. And Christian McFarlane has pinned him, and he's going to take the free kick at half forward.
In all fairness there, I mean, look down the ground, there's 3 Thompson players against the 1 central player where he would have liked to have gone. So, I mean, now maybe the boundary would have been a better option, but it's very difficult when you're carrying the ball and you don't really know where to go.
Richardson, kick over his shoulder, goes towards Cowan, trip, 50, and will kick from the goal line.
I think that could be a report there.
Galauka. And yes, the book's coming out. Intentionally tripping. Jonathan Grapsis was right there, the umpire.
He's got a busy night.
He will have a busy night.
Late hours of Monday night or the early hours of Tuesday morning.
So he's down, and Cowan is...
Both umpires have got him there.
Yeah, still down on his haunches as well. Taking a little bit of time to get up, and I certainly wouldn't want anything to happen to him injury-wise. 34 points the difference at the moment. Thompson 12-12-84, Werribee 7-8-50. We've been going 17 and a half minutes in this final term. And Mark Cowan is still with hands on knees. And Mick Galauka is being sent from the ground and has been reported. So they're down to 16 now, Werribee.
It was the short of the tall of that sort of encounter, wasn't it? And
certainly was.
Not a good finish for Mickey Galauka, who's had a great season with the Werribee Central side and has battled hard throughout the final series for them and been a real live wire in defence.
He has.
It doesn't look real good for Cowan.
He doesn't, does he? He's hobbling up there.
I didn't think that the initial contact was great. I mean, the intention was obviously there to try and trip him, but I didn't think that there was the full-on contact. But I'd say quite obviously there is. And for Thompson's obviously hoping for, and for Marks, that it's not quite as bad as it looks, and it's only maybe a slight bruise.
Well, he came in and kicked his third goal to make sure of the Thompson's involvement in the preliminary final, I think. 13-12-90, now lead by 40 points over Werribee Central's 7-8-50 on the Great Western Hotel final quarter scoreboard. We've been going 18 and a half minutes, and that could be the nail in the coffin for the Centrals for their 1996 season.
What was that comment this morning, Ronald? I think she's just starting to warm up them vocal cords.
Certainly.
I would imagine at this stage.
Yes. Well, back to the centre, and a big comeback from the Tigers after last week's effort against Eastern Suburbs. And 13-12-90, 7-8-50, the Tigers in control here. Back to the centre, Bernardo. Gets the big thump away, Timmy Gardner. Taps it over the top to Withers. Oh, running straight through Matheson. I think he ended up cleaning up Bernardo there, which was his teammate. Mickey Gann at centre half forward takes the mark. And the little man who's kicked the goal this afternoon.
Cowan replaced by Stein.
Play on quickly, gives it to Richardson. Short little kick by him to Lunchy. Gardner can run in and kick the goal. Lunchy, and he does so.
A great goal.
And Gardner, Andrew Gardner, kicks his second goal. Just bumped as he kicked it, but it didn't make any difference. 14-12, 96 Thompson, Werribee Central, 7-8-50, 46 points of difference on the Great Western Hotel final quarter scoreboard. And we've been going 19 and a half minutes. And we see Chrissy Gardner coming off and Rick Humphrey coming on. So there'll be a battle-scarred forward line, I'd say, for Thompson right about now.
I'm a bit of a coach's man, but I will give Richo a bit of a wrap up there again. He got the ball, he went to play on, he probably got himself in a little bit of trouble. He didn't just throw it on the boot and blaze away. He still picked his man 20 or 30 and hit the spot, and Thompson ended up getting an easy goal. Like that, do you, Jason? Looking after the coaches.
Jimmy Ellis breaks clear from the centre of the ground, and the ball now bounces over the players' heads. First to get back there was Shane Grabsis, who was quite happy to see it go out of bounds in that left forward pocket, about 20 metres from the Werribee goal. But it doesn't really matter, because at the present time, the Thompson Tigers 46-point leaders over the Werribee Central side, and we'll be going 20 and a half minutes of this final quarter.
Don't know what happened there.
Well, free kick was picked out to Kelly, and he gave it to Smith and then got it back and then dropped the ball. But Richardson gave it to Timmy Gardner, who knew he was surrounded, but good. Little vision towards back to Richardson. His kick smothered by Bernardo goes to the boundary line and sees it over. And we'll be having the pleasure of Stewart again next Saturday afternoon, but we won't have the pleasure of the orator, Grappo. He'll be on the ground again next Saturday afternoon.
Yes, participating in the preliminary final.
Boundary throw in, Bernardo, and over the top there was Richardson. Big thump back towards the boundary line game. It's about 15 metres. And it's going to be another boundary throw in.
And more importantly for Richo, an extra 15 seconds to suck it in.
Yes.
Hands on knees.
He's had a big afternoon, the coach, and had a lot to think about, not only his own game, but the team-wise today. A few injuries and a couple of players sent off. Edgar breaks a couple of tackles and gets around his own man there, Day. Goes wide towards Spicer. Oh, Atchison came out, but Spicer, great courage, runs in, finish it off, and he has done so. Good play, Brad Spicer.
Yes, Brad kicks his second goal, and she's just about could have been hospitalised there with Atchison coming through like a steam train. Fortunately, contact was not made, and Brad Spicer went on and finished off a nice piece of work there set up by the Centurions, and they move a little bit closer, but yes, it's not much time remaining now. 22 minutes gone. Great Western Hotel final quarter scoreboard. Werribee 8-8-56 at Thompson. They're 14-12, 96, 40 points the margin. And I don't think I'll tip anymore, because this is 3 zips out of 3 I've had so
okay,
far.
mate. We know you don't know anything about footy, and neither do I, so it's all right. That's why we're a great double act.
Oh, dear me.
And we'll just call Stewie the expert, because he's supposed to be. Back to the centre now. That's 40 points of difference. Bernardo, and also running in there was the Echo. Comes towards Withers. Morley ran at him without the footy, and he's going to get a free kick for interference. So Shane Withers now.
I think Bernardo got a round object in that ruck contest, and it wasn't the ball. He took the second option at that stage. The ball was gone.
Withers goes wide to Timmy Gardner. Has to sit now. He goes short towards Mark Harris, and he takes Mark. And he goes a little kick around the corner, Gardner. That's Andrew. And I don't think he hurt. He thought it was play on. Touched off the boot, but Gardner did claim the mark. Umpire Graps has agreed with him. He's going to be kicking from just outside 50, and Rick Humphrey leads for him, so he goes in that direction. It's over his head, though. Bernardo just comes through with a big thump. Probably could have marked that one. Luddick. In fact, it was Cunningham. And was that a throw? Well, it was. And
there's a lack of confidence there, I think. There's just confidence in each other. I mean, a bloke of Bernardo's size, I mean, the first option if you're in front anywhere on the ground, if you're his size, is to try and take the mark. But he's put the ball to ground, and he's given Thompson another chance, and that chance has arisen. And is it Stein that's going to have an opportunity to score the 15th goal for the Thompson side?
Well, the half-back flanker, an interchange player this afternoon. There's an opportunity to get his name in the paper.
No, Richo's got it.
Oh, Richo. I was just being tricked then, wasn't I?
No, he gave it to Richo, and he handballed to Richo because he couldn't kick himself. Look at him. He's running across to stand the man on the mark at full forward. He can hardly run. So he gave it to Richardson, and then his kick was a poor one off the boot and was touched on the line by Buck, who kicks into Timmy Ellis, who goes wide towards Spicer, who stands his ground, takes the mark. Plays on quickly. Hesitated for a minute, but then went towards Day. Atchison getting back there, grabs us, Rose at the back of the pack, the orator. Vision back into Justin. Justin, good. Good mark too from the Echo. And no, you've got to go behind your mark now, Justin, which he does so. He's got Harris out wide. And
Dick's back too.
he's got Kelly and also Burke. And Stickville put the Magpies back here in the middle of the ground. Coming up, Hennessy beats Andrew Gardner to that mark.
Just reminding the crowd, I think, that North won the early game.
They did. 13-12-90, the 6-6-42. The Magpies into the preliminary final in the reserves. Wide to Luke Luddick, who runs off from Richardson. Wide.
And Richo will tell him. And Richo's going to tell him. And that's all you probably can do. Like, you can't really say to them.
And they've had a good laugh about it too, the boys, which is good to see.
Yeah.
And Mark Harris, the lead's on from Justin. Justin Hanson coming at pace. Well, Withers was going to handball, then he did to Kelly. Luddick coming at him, pushed him off the ball. Now coming at Timmy Gardner and also Barry Delaney. And it's out of bounds. It's going to be a boundary throw in on the wing. And we've been playing 25 minutes in this final quarter. And Thompson into the preliminary final, 14-13-97. They lead Werribee 8-56.
Ball out back into play. JJ does well there for the Thompson side. Shark by Sassino to Hanson. His quick kick, though, well marked. Menzies, who's now in defence for the Tigers. Chips over the top to the Zasha Blam. The goal sneak has a bounce. Kicks it long. A lovely kick with the left foot. But, good mark, Adrian Hart there at half back and plays on quickly. The run of Gareth Buck from full back. Good footy to Morley. Over the top they go to Brad Spicer. Now Timmy Ellis has the footy at centre wing. Has a bounce. Now steadies and kicks it long. But, there's nobody home for the Centrals. And a nice mark jacket there by Shea Grabsis.
Goes out wide to the coach. He's got a game next week in the preliminary final to the orator because he's found Richo at half back on the member side, and he's just slowing up play now, the coach. He's a bit tired, I think.
In those situations there, Jason, you generally do give the ball to the coach in those situations because the coach generally stands in the right spot to receive the ball.
Oh, right, coach.
He's not actually looking for a game next week. It's just picking to the right option.
That's Stuart Scott, coach of the Geelong West Cricket and Football Club. Special comments this afternoon on 89.1 Country FM. Withers, short from Richardson. And he takes the mark.
Just gives Luke a bit of a sniff of the leather.
See what he's been missing out on for a while. Short over the top of the orator. Oh, three around him. Oh, and he's stumped by Luddick. Edgar now. Oh,
gives him a look.
Throws it on the boot and falls towards Delaney.
And the grabber just shakes their head.
He's been around a while, the grabber. Morley
it's on.
Breaks the tackle. Edgar over the top. Chopped off by Burke. Oh, here we go. Grabsis and Luddick exchanging phone numbers.
Well, if Grabber better just keep the hands to himself.
He might be up here
next week.
He might be up here next weekend if he's not too careful.
Yeah.
Well, throw it in, boundary umpire. Let's go.
I think Luke just sort of lost the plot there.
Well, Luddick coming off the ground to be replaced. And boundary throw in. So he's getting the Bronx cheers from the crowd. Luke Luddick as he leaves the ground. Up, Atchison, back towards the boundary line and Burke. Edgar's there also. Keeps it in, Burke. And then it was out. Yep, good play, boundary umpire. You saw that. And coming on the ground again is Kochevatkin. It's going to be a boundary thrown on the wing again. 27.5 minutes gone. And it's 41 points difference in favour of Thompson. 4 go up for the ruck contest. Falls towards Hanson. Gets a right foot to it. Spicer and Harris now. Spicer can run onto it. Harris now right next to him. Spicer gets his head ripped off. Handball over the top to Vilchins. He's got Dave. Vilchins turns around. Oh, sidestep around the orator. And Vilchins kicks his 4th goal.
He's not a bad effort for a big fella.
Yep, he's done well. And, well,
I don't think it's any coincidence that sort of sense. Vilsons has been hobbling around and had to play a more or less attacking role by not being around the play. Has been probably Werribee's downfall. They just haven't quite. I mean, Bernardo, I can't take nothing away from Bernardo. He's done all right while he's been there, and Matheson had a short stint there. But I mean, they're not going to get the same dominating effect at those bounces or the throw-ins that obviously Vilsons can give. And since that point in time, they just haven't moved the ball with the same effectiveness, or they haven't had the same time. The balls they have won, they've won them under pressure, and they haven't been that clean knock from Vilsons.
Back in the centre now, Bernardo and Justin goes up. Timmy Gardner straight through now. Can he pick it up? He can. Gets it out wide towards Nan Curvis. He takes the mark in front of Hanson. He's got McFarlane leading across half 40. Goes towards Gann short, and he takes a good mark too, overhead. And McFarlane calls for it again. He goes towards him now. Luddick up over the back. Can't take the mark. In fact, it was Cunningham. Now Cunningham, good tap out to Bernardo. Back towards Hanson and Nan Curvis. Nan Curvis stands his ground. Takes a very good mark. Goes inboard to Justin, and he takes the mark. Paul Day standing the mark now. 14-13-97. Werribee Central's 9-8-62. 35 points of difference. Wide from the echo out towards McFarlane, but in front, taking a good mark there, was Spicer, out wide to Harton. Now Harton turns around. Oh, he's got two against him. He just puts it up in the air. Coming from behind was Justin. Good thump away. Hanson now has got a bit of support. Alice is one of them, but it's a poor handball. Withers works very hard in the middle. Morley now breaks the tackle, breaks two, gets back onto his right. Short little kick is okay to Spicer. Oh, Menzies came at him, but he got away from him easy. Goes towards centre half forward Day, and Edgar trapped it very well. Turns around, kicks it over his shoulder, but nobody kicked to. Pilchins had led, Ambrose Kelly in the last line defence for the Tigers.
Lack of talk around the ball there. There was plenty of Werribee blokes around Edgar when he had it to steady him down, get him to straighten up and maybe go on his preferred foot, or to talk to him that Wilson's has made the lead and he's kicked it straight over his head and gone to 2 Thompson, I believe.
Yeah, didn't really look, and obviously his right leg is worrying him. A bit of a limp up. Ball now out of bounds on that outside half-forward flank. Oh, good work there from Withers again. Has been terrific to Harris. Breaks the tackle. Got time to steady now, but good smother there from... that was Trevathan, who's back on the ground for the Centrals. There's been a whistle on play, and I think you'll find the free kick will be taken by Timmy Gardner, the Neville Whitley medalist for 1996 of GFL footy.
Good move by Smith here, bringing Wilson's up the ground, making him obviously run, but secondly, if the ball does turn over, they haven't got that strong marking option down the forward line.
Richardson in the middle of the ground. Now the coach to slow things up again. We've been playing 31 minutes. And a free kick down the field against Bernardo. And Terry Nankervis will take it on the centre square. Goes wide towards Humphrey. Umpire grabs us over. And there's a few ironical cheers from the crowd. Comes back towards Matheson now, who's at centre half back against McFarlane. Just tries to shovel it out. He's still on hands and knees. Lunchy Gardner gets around. No, here we go. Hang on. The umpire's called time off.
If he's fair dinkum, if he's really fair dinkum, I think Bernardo mightn't play next year. I mean, you just can't allow a player to throw. He's gone for the book, so he has picked it up, which is good to see. But I think Bernardo sort of in the last quarter, he has tended to lose a little bit, and it's probably. He wants to play the game. I think from Mick Foster's point of view, he probably would have been better off at the early stage of this quarter when it looked like it was imminent they weren't going to win the game, is to get him off. It obviously looks bad against the side if they're going to pick up numerous reports at the end of the game.
Well, a few boys down here in the back line having a bit of a chat. Christian Smith, Brenton Filchins, Robbie Edgar, and Dale Menzies, Grapsis and Ambrose Kelly just laughing at the boys up the other end, thinking, what are you doing? It's 31 minutes into the final quarter, and they're all standing with hands on hips and
4 on 2.
4 on 2.
And I think if the ball came down, Wilson's would be a fair bit down.
Well, Bernardo is now off the ground and has been reported. And so they're down to 15, I think, now, Werribee.
Get a good seat on the bus.
And it's going to be a free kick. I think, well, it's Richardson, 50. And, well, I thought it was Nankervis, actually, who had the free kick, but...
I think it was actually Richardson that might have been on the end of Bernardo.
Right, okay.
Probably translated the free. But interesting to see that both teams in the first quarter, I thought both teams were very undisciplined. There were several 50-metre penalties and a couple of downfield decisions. But it's been Thompson who've been the side that have been able to settle, commit themselves more so to the football, and they're going to run away with an easy victory.
Isn't that great to see? Smith, Edgar, Vilchins and Grapsis. They've been standing there for 3 minutes talking about the game. We might get all 4 of them up here. Well, we can't get a couple. We can't get Vilchins up here next week to do special comments.
We might see Smith actually pull a couple of Rego forms, or they might be talking about going over to Thompson.
They might be too, talking about next year already. Well, 15th goal for Thompson, 15-13, 103. They lead Werribee Central's 9-8-62 on the Great Western Hotel final quarter score when we've been going 33 and a half minutes. And I could be called the mayor of Exaggeration City because it feels like we've been going for an hour.
Yeah, it has been. Cunningham, strong off half back, has been terrific all day. Goes up there to half forward. Edgar's there, gives it for Harton. Harton's kick a long bomb up there looking for the big fella in Wilson's, but he can't trap it.
He's tried a bit of soccer style in the net off the head. The net wasn't there and the goal wasn't there.
So one behind for the Werribee Central side, 9-9-63. They trail Thompson 15-13, 103 by 40 points on the Great Western Hotel final quarter scoreboard. Nankervis has got the numbers here with him. Atchison and Harris shepherded well. Nankervis now goes long. Gardner up. Oh! Lunchy had to go up very early. Slade Hennessy in front, and Lunchy all 5'3" of him.
I'm not sure whether his back flicked it off the ground. He's had a go at it.
Should have went up horizontal, didn't he?
When you're about 2 foot shorter than your opponent, you've got to try something, I suppose.
There's the siren, and Thompson are into the preliminary final next Saturday afternoon with a 40-point victory here against Werribee Centrals. In that final term, Werribee Centrals kicked 4 goals 2 to be 9-9-63 at full time. Thompson 15-13, 103. They kicked 4 goals 2, so they matched the Werribee side on the scoreboard and to rate out 40-point winners. And they'll play the winner, in fact the loser of tomorrow's second semi-final between Eastern Suburbs and Bannockburn. The goal kickers for Thompson, we had 3 to Anthony Lamb, 3 to Mark Cowan and 3 to Shane Withers, while we had 2 to Andrew Gardner and 2 to Alan Richardson. Singles to Terry Nankervis and Mick Gann. While for Werribee Centrals, 4 to Brenton Vilchins, 2 to Brad Spicer, 2 to Tim Ellis and 1 goal to Luke Luddick. But, well, it was that final third term, boys, that really did it for Thompson. They were able to kick 6 goals 5 and keep Werribee scoreless and really set them up for a final term assault and a 40-point win to go into the preliminary final. As we see them riding down their 3-2-1 very quickly here. Shuey, a good win from Thompson, a good comeback from last week after being outplayed by the Suburbs. They probably couldn't play much worse than they did last week, but they really turned it on today after some undisciplined play in the first quarter. They really got their act together in that third quarter, set up their win. Yeah, they've shown some good character today. They 2 weeks ago they didn't have a great performance in their last home and away game, and last week they were sort of outpointed by Eastern Suburbs in all respects of the game. The start of the game, as I mentioned earlier, both sides were very undisciplined. There was a lot of 50-metre penalties and downfield decisions given, but it was Thompson that was the side that settled during that second and especially the third quarter. And unfortunately, Werribee's way of response probably wasn't what Mick Foster would have liked. As sort of been mentioned last week as well, this week, Werribee relies so heavily on their better 4 or 5 players, the Delaney's, the Bilsons, Darlow in the centre, those type of players. And today, unfortunately for Werribee, they weren't in the better players for their side, which doesn't give them a chance to win. But on the other hand, Thompson, it's probably their better 4 or 5 players probably weren't in their better 4 or 5 positions in the best players, and that augurs well for their forthcoming finals appearances. I think it was more the lesser lights or we might class them as the lesser lights. I don't think Richo would. The lesser lights from an outsider's point of view, the Thompson side, where they got up the players like Burke, Harris, Chrissy Gardner across the half-back line were very important. I thought Justin did quite well when he was in the ruck up against Wilsons when Taylor came off the ground, and Smith, who had to take that rucking responsibility around the ground. And so a couple of those players do figure in my voting. I gave 1 vote to Smith. I thought, he's quite a battle when he's had to be moved from the position he was playing. He's had to come in and try and ruck against Wilsons for best of the day. He had Wilsons, he had Matheson and Bernardo at different stages, and I think, bar a bit of a thing in the second quarter where Wilsons probably, got on top a little bit. The character showed out and he persisted for the rest of the game. Burke from the half-back line, again, an underrated player. Again, not possibly from the Thompson point of view, but from an outsider, that he is an underrated player, and I think that his drive from the half-back line gave him the opportunities through the centre of the ground into the half-forward line for the best part of the day. And my 3 votes, and this will probably stump a few people, probably not a higher standard game that he normally would play. He probably didn't get the possessions that he normally does, but I don't think that Andrew Atchison's contributions to a game on any Saturday can be overestimated. And today, he had the match winner from last week in Matheson. He totally outpointed him early in the game. He's had Bernardo there, and at times he's had to fall back and pick up Wilsons. And so for those reasons that he's taken their better playmakers out of the game, I've given Andrew Atchison the 3 votes.
It's interesting how we see this game of football, isn't it?
You've stumped Ronnie.
Well, I gave 1 vote. With special apologies to both Withers and Land, but I think they had bursts in the second and third quarters respectively, and the 3 goals they got each in those particular quarters. But for 4 consistent quarters, they were the 3 I come up with.
All right, so 3-2-1, Atchison, Burke and Smith for Stuart Scott. Ronnie?
I thought the most exciting big man on the ground was Brendan Wilsons by a street, so I gave him 1 vote. I thought his contribution to the GDFL Football League this year has been immense, and he's a true gentleman off the ground, and I thought he played his game pretty well today, and congratulations, Brent, on a great game, and he got my 1 vote. I thought the coach, under a lot of pressure early from misdemeanours of his teammates, kept his cool. He was out of it a bit early, I suppose, but gee whiz, he linked it up well, and he's got good vision under pressure, and he set it up a few times for a lot of his players around the ground, and I thought Alan Richardson was my second best player, and I like Terry Nankervis, I thought his game of centre wing and at half back in that first half especially, but he finished it off. The marks, he's probably taken 18 marks here this afternoon. For a bloke of his size, I just don't know how he can do it. But he did, and I gave him 3 votes, Terry Nankervis.
Okay, so Nankervis, Richardson and Vilchin, 3, 2 and 1 for Ron Brain. I've given 1 vote to Timmy Gardner. I think he's played under duress again today, and he just starts the Thompson forward thrust all the time. And he's a worthy league best and fairest. You can see that he was playing under pain today, but just keep going all day and will be a key for them next week against whoever they play, Bannockburn or Eastern Service. I'll give him 2 votes to Ambrose Kelly. He impressed me with his skills this afternoon across half-back, and I know he was playing as a loose man across there, but still, you have to get the footy, you have to use it across half-back, and he certainly did that and linked very well with Richardson and Gardner in the midfield. And you can see we've watched a bit of footy this season, Ron, because I've given Nankervis 3 votes as well. I thought his game across centre wing was superb, and I just thought that when he was needed as a marking option, he was across the centre line as well, and I've given him 3 votes this afternoon.
Okay, well, on that basis...
I'll be looking for a coaching job next year.
Well, Terry Nankervis is BOG this afternoon with 6 votes. With
Atchison.
3 votes, Atchison.
Mm-hmm. Gets our 2 votes.
2 votes. And we've got Ambrose Kelly. We've got David Burke and
Alan
Richardson, all with 2 votes.
Well, we better go with our special guest, special commentator, I suppose.
Yeah.
We'll go with Burke.
David Burke.
Okay.
Congratulations, Burkey.
Rich and the boys, they're always getting votes. I mean, as I said, the lesser line players, you've got to give them a bit of a plug, mate.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there, mate. And,
I knew you wouldn't.
No, terrific. It's good. And as we mentioned throughout the call, we did say that today's game is going to be tough for votes, and obviously that's the reason for why we're all so different.
Yeah, 3, 2 and 1. Nankervis with 3, Atchison with 2 and Burke with 1.